push the button. So anyway, that's why I was saying it's probably going to be a really short episode, like 10 minutes. Well, it's time for the intro. Hello and welcome to 60 Minutes. I mean, Apocrypha, episode 2, the subsidiary of the Drunk Doctor Who podcast.
Drunk Doctor Who, okay.
Incorporated. Trademarked.
Incorporated, yeah, right.
Registered.
Alright, so I have water and I have
Buy our
whiskey.
official merchandise.
Yeah.
What are we drinking today, Heather?
I'm drinking Magnum Flame whiskey and I'm double fisting with water. So.
I'm hydrating with water.
Yes. Alright. So today we rewatched, because we're doing these Apocrypha videos for all the side stuff.
It's time to add my contribution to the board. Some very important information we left out here. There we go. Can't forget that. Just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, it's not the Cyberman. Alright.
There we go. Just so you know, our villains for this
Or Daleks.
episode were Daleks.
Daleks.
That's what we're discussing.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so we watched the second and currently
I feel like I have to
final.
It's tradition. I add my part to the board.
There you go.
That's my bit.
Currently final theatrical movie for Doctor Who.
I have to get up every podcast so they see my underwear.
There you go.
That's why it's tradition.
Peter Cushing's Dalek Invasion Earth, not of Earth, just Dalek Invasion Earth, 2150 AD. Alright.
We were just talking last episode about how the British people always leave the article off. It's not going to the hospital, it's just going to hospital.
Well, Daleks do it all the time.
It's going to Earth.
To TARDIS.
We must go to TARDIS.
To TARDIS.
Yeah, they're very British robots.
Anyway, so...
They strike you as oddly human. They have like all their little quirks in their movement, how they're jittery. It's very humanizing about these robots, is how they move and act.
There is a creature inside.
Yeah, I feel like the Daleks are more human than Cybermen. Cybermen are just totally robotic. Mm-hmm. And Daleks, it looks like they have emotions and they get angry.
Hate.
It reminds you that it's a little creature just driving this tank inside.
They have emotions of hate and fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great line in Eccleston's era. Mm-hmm. There's an episode just called Dalek. And he bumps into a Dalek. Mm-hmm. And they're yelling at each other. Finally the Dalek goes, "You would have made a great Dalek." Yeah,
that's gotta be
ouch!
Yeah, the
my
worst
hearts.
burnt my hearts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a slam and a half, but it's true. I mean,
they're witty.
Well, because we're talking about the Doctor right after the Time War.
I would love to see a Dalek Twitter account where they post like tweets of just
exterminate.
Oh, that has to exist, right? Tell me that exists, and I'm gonna follow it.
All right. Anyway, so we are redoing this for the Apocrypha. We rewatched the movie for a couple of reasons. One, we want to set the Apocrypha line for all the Apocrypha pieces because these are the only early ones, super early ones. But later on, we will get into all of that once we get into the 80s.
Yes.
Which we are almost into. We're in the late 70s. I think 79 right now. Secondly, because Bernard Cribbins passed away just a few weeks ago, and he's in this as the essentially the protagonist.
In a way.
Starts with him and ends with him. He is Tom, a constable.
What do they call it when you have a lead role in a show or a movie?
A protagonist.
I thought there was like a co-protagonist term.
A co-protagonist?
I know.
I don't know.
Dual lead.
Co-star.
Co-star. Yeah, okay. Co-stars.
Yeah.
He's like the co-star of this movie with the Doctor.
With Cushing, yeah. But anyway, I don't know if we can put an end card on this episode. You know, Bernard Cribbins.
In memory of.
Yeah.
So in his honor, I'll send you a thing. You'll just tack it on the end.
Please. That would be wonderful.
In honor of it, and we'll do some music. So here's to you, Bernard Cribbins.
Bernard Cribbins, rest in peace. May God have mercy on your soul. You were apparently a wonderful and amazing man. So I've heard from everyone who knew you. You know.
To Bernard Cribbins, may you rest in relative space and time dimensions. time and you rest in time and rest.
It didn't quite work, but I knew what you were going for.
Rest in peace.
Mm.
Wibbly wobbly,
Timey-wimey stuff.
Afterlife stuff.
We'll get to Blink eventually.
Ooh, angels? Is there an afterlife in Doctor Who? Does it go into like the supernatural? Is it like a sci-fi supernatural?
Alright, first of all, Blink.
Spoilers.
Blink is the origin of that wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's why I mentioned it.
Oh.
There is not quite an afterlife in it. There's more of they send you back in time and you get to live till you die.
Ooh. Yeah. So that's like damnation. That's
No, I mean,
afterlife.
if I got sent back to 19...
It's like Looper. You ever watch that movie?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
If you get sent back to 1910, I mean, you're like, okay, get into steel. All right. Get into phonographs, you know, you know the stuff is going to be big. Yeah, the crash is coming. Avoid, you know.
Yeah, like they send you with all your money so you can retire, and then you get looped. Is that what it's called, Looper? Am I thinking of the right movie? Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gordon.
Where he's the old version of Gordon Levitt.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
so that's the second reason why we're watching this movie. The third reason is it's just good fun. It's worth a second watch. It's a good movie.
It is.
Just an enjoyable time.
but like I said, we did decide to do the Apocrypha line.
Yeah. First reason, second
one of the
reason,
reasons we did it now was because of Bernard Cribbin's death. Yeah.
And third reason, it's just worth the second watch. It's a good movie.
It is fun. All right. We're not going to do a full plot synopsis like we did last week, partly because A, we've already done it in the main show, and B, we've already done it before that in the main show with Dalek Invasion of Earth, because it quite literally is the exact same plot, except in color.
If you want to watch that, you just watch which episode?
Well, watch the Dalek Invasion of Earth, or...
Which podcast episode is that, where we talk about it? If you want to watch that episode, we won't put a link in the description below. We won't link to it. So in case you're wondering, I'm just joking. You don't have to look it up.
Wait, what? I'm already looking it up.
I'd like to ask you.
Put me on the spot.
No, just like impossible pop quiz questions. Like,
that's episode 10.
Speaking of
the 10th serial.
It's like, speaking of the sun, how many miles away is it from Earth? It's like, why would you ask me that?
Okay, it's 8 to 8.5 minutes by the speed of light.
Ooh. How many miles per hour is the speed of light? I heard that we can't really measure the speed of light because it'd have to be going as fast as the speed of light to measure. So it's just kind of like a conceptual thing. It doesn't have like a miles per hour.
There actually is a definitive number. I don't know it off the top of my head at the moment.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I feel like science, it's not observable, so it's a theory. Like the Big Bang Theory. It's not really science. They just like to do a lot of guesswork. We know shockingly little about the universe, and they're like, oh yeah, this is how black holes work. It's like, you don't know that.
It's a theory. That's why they still call them theories, like Big Bang Theory.
So I bet
it is a theory.
The number on the speed of light is a theory. Like, there's no way to know that. Unless you're, what's his face in The Mummy, who's outrunning the sunlight. So, you remember that scene?
Is that the modern Mummy or the old Mummy?
I think it's like Mummy 2 or 3.
Oh.
All the locusts and the...
Oh, Brendan Fraser. Okay.
Yeah, Brendan. He's outrunning the sun as it's rising because of the curse.
Sorry. There's the old black and white Mummy movies.
Oh, no.
There's the Brendan Fraser stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then there's that bad one with Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the middle ones.
Okay.
Which is what
they're my favorite ones. I love the first two of those.
Brendan Fraser's great. Did you hear about his big comeback? He just came out with a new movie.
Fatso or something?
Yeah, and then he gets like standing ovations. He's crying because he's so happy that he's back into Hollywood and following his passion. Because he like didn't act for a long time.
I don't know.
It was really sweet. It was nice and heartwarming.
Well,
he's doing well.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're not going to give you the full plot synopsis. We've already done it twice. Unlike when we go to K9 and Company.
Oh yeah.
Because we truncated it in the middle of the plot.
We already made a new subsidiary for that.
Well, no. We will, the spin-offs.
Yeah.
But with K9 and Company, we tacked that onto a serial.
heroes and villains.
No. We tacked it on to the Silurian experiment. The Centauran experiment.
Yeah.
Because the Centauran experiment was only 2 episodes. But we got halfway through the plot, and then we just gave up describing it. So we're actually going to have to do
It was so long. It's like
it was. We're going to actually have to do a full synopsis for that because we don't have one for that, unlike these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because these are really short. They're not at all long, or they're very to the point. We don't ramble at all in these, so that's why it's what.
All right. Anyway, so it is basically the Dalek Invasion of Earth, Serial 10, except in color. Peter Cushing does a great job, and our Crimmins does a great job. The one thing is, Barbara and Ian are replaced. Instead of Barbara, either from the TV show or the first movie, we have his niece, Loretta or Lorraine, or what's her name?
Oh, I don't remember her name in this movie.
You always write these things down.
No, I didn't grab my notes until like the last quarter of the movie. I was like, I'm not gonna take notes. We've already done this before.
True.
I'll remember everything, right? I always do.
There you go.
It's because we have our phones, so we can look it up real quick if we need to.
No, you shouldn't have your phone. All right, but anyway, so his niece is a different niece.
Hatter's a phone Nazi.
No
phones for you.
I just don't want to
podcast.
Right, so it's a different niece, not the blonde. She's a brunette, and she has a different name. Louise. Hey, thank you, sunshine. And instead of Ian, the klutzy suitor from the first one.
Lissa is my new nickname for Google. I'll Google it. I'm like, oh yeah, Lissa told me.
Oh no, seriously, she's amazing. We get Bernard Cribbins' Tom.
I heard you guys are really rough in that one board game, the trivia.
Oh,
Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, Trivial Pursuit?
Or Cranium, yeah.
Oh, God.
I said, don't play with Lissa or Hatter, or I'll just beat the tar out of you.
But anyway, so the other element that's missing from this, that's in the original TV serial, is that amazing speech at the end when Susan leaves.
Oh, there's a big emotional.
Yeah, because in the TV show, it's the one way the TV show was far superior to the movie. Mm-hmm. Because in the TV show, Susan falls in love with one of the rebels. She leaves, and the doctor gives this amazing speech. The first Doctor's most famous speech, and about go forth with all your convictions and let me know that I'm not wrong in mine.
Yeah.
And it's just phenomenal. And that did not end up in here because Susan is a little girl, not 17 or 18 the way that Susan was. Yeah. She does not get left behind, and so and we have not had her for 40 episodes the way we had the original Susan. Mm-hmm. So that scene did not occur, unfortunately, because it is so good.
Oh, really emotional.
In the TV show, yeah.
That's one advantage of TV shows is they get to build up to something, so the payoffs are more, rewarding.
True.
Finishing the end of a movie is just a couple hours, but finishing the end of a series of a TV show is something you've just been watching for like 6 months, and you see like a big character be set off, you're like, the payoff.
but this is 84 minutes. It's basically 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But the serial was 6, so there's a good bit of fat trimmed out.
Yeah, and then there's the whole season where we've known the companions, so it's like...
Right. Yeah. Right. In fact, we didn't even keep Ian or Barbara for this one from the original,
TV shows are just such big experiences, and you spend so much time watching them. You gotta feel connected to the characters when and
if you can't, stop watching.
Yeah, that's it's not like anyone would make 100 episodes talking about a TV show.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah. What's our episode number now?
104.
Ooh, we're up there.
103. I think we're at 103.
If you were to watch those back to back, how many hours would that be?
It'd be about
like 500
hours. 80 hours. No, about 180. Maybe 200.
It's like 2 hours our average.
The early ones are short, and then they get
But
longer.
we've had some that made up for that shortness.
That's true.
Average might be like 2 hours, 200 hours.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, this one will be so long it'll bring the average up to where it'd be 200. Yeah.
No.
It's gonna be like a 4-hour podcast.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
I should walk right over there and close the aperture.
How much to... All right, the end.
The end.
That's all, folks.
All right. Anyway, so this movie was done with a much larger budget. You can tell in the set pieces.
Yes.
It's in the original. It's all in a studio.
Mm-hmm.
This one has big, giant map pieces, big, giant set pieces. They built the mine. They built all these other deals.
It's all made for the big stage.
Right. They're outside, and it made money, but based on the budget, because it was a much bigger budget, it didn't make enough money to warrant the third one, which would have been the Dalek's Master Plan.
Yeah.
Which had already aired.
That's one of the that's a tragedy, because that's one of the best parts is the big blockbuster budget of a Doctor Who thing, is because everything is much more grand. Like, we're talking about the advantages of a series and how it's really long and a larger time investment, but the advantage of movies have is they just have this big balloon budget because you're supposed to make this big impact in just the 2 hours you have for the movie.
84 minutes, yeah.
So it was a short movie, yeah. So they just put all this money into it, and it just made everything so grand with like explosions, these big sets that they built,
hundreds of deaths.
Yeah,
so many more extras than Doctor Who could normally ever have.
Yeah, we're so like nerds would. You remember what you felt like when you watched this movie for the first time? How old were you?
This movie?
Yeah. When did it come out? When were you born?
I was born in 1968. This came out in 1966, before I was born.
Oh, okay.
I saw this as an adult many years later.
Oh. So what's something from like your childhood that you grew up and just made a really big impact?
Star Wars.
Star Wars, right? You
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Remember what you felt like when you watched Star Wars for the first time as a wide-eyed child?
Yeah, I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The line for the movie wrapped around the theater 3 times.
Yeah.
They sold seats to the adults. The kids laid on the carpeted floor at the front, just looking up at the screen. Mm-hmm. Star Wars was absolutely amazing. It was groundbreaking.
Not everyone relates to that experience of being a nerd and just being. This is like your thing. This is the wide-eyed thing that you're fascinated with. One of your hobbies that you're passionate about. People get so passionate that they grow up and they make the Wikipedia pages and keep all the statistics and stuff with like every detail.
Here's every character ever in Supernatural. Everyone who ever spoke a single line.
And then like they're 6'2" and they're born here and this is their middle name, and they just have every detail of every character that ever appeared in the comic book series or something.
Yeah.
You ever think people like measured the dimensions of the Daleks? Does the BBC like feed into that at all? They're like, hey, here's a book about all the dimensions of a Dalek if you put that in your Wikipedia page.
I don't know if they've ever printed that, but yeah, the BBC loves the toy licensing and the marketing off of Doctor Who. Loves it. Makes some money.
Oh yeah. All those, because people grow up and they have all this nostalgia because they remember their childhood is this really big thing to them, so they want to buy a little reminder, so they spend $60 on this replica miniature that they can keep as a paperweight. That market.
You know.
Yeah, see, in your posters, they sell you these. Because they're fun to look at. We reference this all the time. This is more practical than.
Well, we need to get the.
We're like news anchors, and this is the map behind us when we're pointing to the weather. During the later age of the Doctors came in.
Well, we need to put the latest 3 Doctors on there.
You think we could replace this with like a green screen, and we can do the title cards in post? And
No.
You think that? No, that'd be fun. No. What if we get a really big TV monitor that we can have a slideshow on?
No, this is more fun.
This is fun.
Alright, anyway.
You need a laser pointer so you can reference different... If you'll notice here, the guy has a stick of asparagus in his jacket.
Celery. We'll get to him in 2 more seasons.
When we get to him, I'm gonna do the podcast with a stick of celery.
As you wish.
That's a celery? Look at that head on that thing.
Yeah. Alright.
Celeries are calorie negative. You actually burn more calories eating a stick of celery.
Yeah, they
than the
taste
celery
like nothing.
has. Yeah, you lose weight by eating celery. It burns calories to eat celery.
Probably because you're not eating something else.
You know what else burns calories eating? Crack cocaine, mostly. That's what my chemistry did. No, meth, I mean. I don't know the difference. I don't know anything about drugs. But my chemistry teacher said the best diet food possible is a stick of celery with just meth sprinkled on it. You'll burn like 2,000 calories eating that. Because of that chemical reaction in your body and your brain neurons firing.
Back in the 70s, there was a term called heroin chic. All these super thin supermodels that were addicted to heroin. So the term was heroin chic.
Right, you want to be
Twiggy and people, you know?
You want to be thin, just do drugs and don't eat. You'll be so hot. And they sell it to you over the counter in a bottle.
All right. Okay.
Didn't the 70s have like those bowls of just pills people would eat at the bar?
You're not wrong. Well, I don't know about at the bar, but
they're like, drugs are fine.
There were parties like that, yeah.
And before that, it's like, smoking, it doesn't hurt. You're great.
No, you knew by the 70s that smoking was bad. In the 30s and 40s, you didn't.
They're just doing it in like a car with babies. They're like, this is fine. On airplanes.
Airplanes, elevators, restaurants, everywhere, yeah.
Being trapped in a small space with all this smoke can't be harmful.
I grew up with two parents who smoked in the house all the time. Didn't bother me.
It's like, I thought the walls used to be white, not yellow.
It's your move. You're in check.
Oh. This is going to be a really big move here, all the way across the board. Maximum
single space.
Maximum distance a king can move. Putting legislature into action here. We're seeing great political chaos because my king is moving. Very impactful. If you say check again, I'm going to cry.
Prepare to cry. Let's see. You know what?
You go like, boom, that puts me in check. And then
you
the retreat would be, and then, so the knight needs to move. And you would, which piece would you be threatening? It's like an RTS, right? Always be No, MOBAs. You ever play League of Legends? It's like always be harassing the opponent. The best defense is a good offense.
You know who said that? Mel, the cook on Alice.
I was going to say Zoe Deschanel.
No, I'm quoting a really bad song called Boot to the Head. Type.
Oh, I know Boot to the Head.
You know who said that? Mel, the cook on Alice.
Oh.
Alright.
Boot to the head.
Nah.
So if you're following at home, that was king to g8, and then
g8.
rook to i9, and we got a bingo. Just for the intellectual scholars at home.
Just for those smoking crack at home, celery with the meth on it.
What are all the pieces called? Or the spaces R1 and
right. So
rook king would be K. That's K3 white. WK3. WK to K3. Do you know that language? It's like a whole other language. It's like learning sign language.
Right.
It's like Morse code, right? Do you know what the spaces are called?
In Morse code?
No, in chess speak. The terms for...
Okay.
When Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty are playing chess and they're just saying, knight to rook 3.
Right, that's the traditional way, the way I grew up.
It's like speaking Latin.
No, not quite.
It's like a code, it's a secret code.
Alright. Any more comments about Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD?
Oh yeah, we're talking about all the nerds that keep every detail of every fact of the show. And we keep our own details on the show. I didn't find on Wikipedia, it's a kill count of how many people die every episode. And we were talking about how we just realized that we made a new record in the movie. The movie's the highest kill count Doctor Who thing that we've seen.
Well, to be fair, it's basically
like
6
100.
episodes.
Yeah.
So you'd have to divide that up.
4
if it were proper episodes. No, it was 6.
Oh, well, like per serial, it's the highest death count. Because we've had some, but not like 100 extras died. That's what the great thing is about the big budget on the big movies is they have all these extras, bigger sets. Yeah, it's more grandiose. We see that in the characters too. The character developments where like you have this. We're talking about how every episode or every season has like their different quirks or references. Like reverse the polarity is a thing.
That's been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, it's like you take a shot every time they reverse the polarity.
Right.
It's like a stereotype they always use.
Meme.
Yeah.
Catchphrase.
So on the movie with the big grand budget, it's like that meme, that reference, but on a planetary scale where he reverses the polarity of the planet to suck the Daleks into the Earth's core. Everything was just so much more grand with a plot.
I just can't believe that the United Kingdom, as far north as it is the convergence of the south and north poles in terms of polarity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Next week we're getting back to the main broadcast, right?
Yes. Yeah. Back to episode 105.
104, I think.
We start a new season. What's the serial name? Do we know? That we're going to watch next time.
Yep. I think it's going to be episode 104. It will
Destiny
be the
of the
6th
Daleks.
season of Tom Baker.
Destiny of the Daleks?
Yes, Destiny
of the Daleks. We're back
and
to
it
Daleks.
is episode 104. Yeah, Daleks to Daleks to Daleks.
And you'll have to wait until then, until I write on the board to reveal who the villains are of that serial. So stay tuned. That's something to look forward to, is that big reveal. Who do you think he'll be? Cyberman? Maybe.
The meddling monk. No, of course it's the bloody Daleks.
Are we ever going to get the meddling monk again?
No. Well,
Are we getting the Toy Master back?
Yeah.
What if he sucks...
In theory.
What if he sucks the meddling monk out of his dimensional lock so he can help him with his schemes against the Doctor, his games?
And then after that...
That's my official prediction for the plot.
And we get Romana too.
The second one.
Yep.
Same actress?
No, different actress.
Oh, same character.
Yeah, same character, different actress. And after...
It's like you when you change your name.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've regenerated like 2 or 3 times by now.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then after Destiny of the Daleks is the City of Death.
It's like girls when they dye their hair, they're like, I just want to express who I feel like now, right? It's like your new journey. It's like, I'm not the doctor, I'm the war doctor,
Okay.
It's like I'm at this stage in my life. I've matured,
I can roll with that. Yeah. But after Destiny of the Daleks is the City of Death, which is a masterpiece. Not to oversell it, but it's really good.
To Yafli Gwynblue.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
Is that why you do it?
Actually, yeah.
It's like getting a tattoo. You're like, this is this part of the journey of my life. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Thank you. All right, we will see you next week, guys. See you next Monday, Tuesday, whenever it gets uploaded. And you need to send me that in memory of
the end title card.
Right. With maybe the rest in peace and the dates, because he lived like 93 years.
Yeah, and don't forget the hopeful message of the movie at the end is anything is possible if you think deep enough about the planet's core.
If you dig deep enough, which was a double entendre with the fact that they dug down to the magnetic core of the planet. Yeah,
so that's
it all got wrapped up nicely. All right.
Unlike the podcast.
Alright, bye-bye.
Maybe we should script these.
No.
Well, if we have like one of those...
Where's the fun in that?
We have a news teleprompter, and we're just reciting jokes monotones.
No.
That's the future of podcast.